Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of That's a Wrap. We got another review of the comic book movies that are hitting this summer. Today's review will be for X-Men Apocalypse, the latest entry in this massive franchise of X-Men films. We got X-Men Apocalypse. This is our non-spoiler review of the film. So if you haven't seen the film yet, don't worry. We're not going to be spoiling anything in the film just yet. I am your host, Aaron. You know me as Caboose XBL. I am here with my co-host
Ender. Thanks a lot, Caboose.
Yep.
We got to see the movie last night. It was very, very late. We were fortunate enough again. I couldn't do it last night, but I was pretty pumped for this movie. You know, it's been doing well with the reboots.
Yeah.
They got a great cast.
This was like a soft reboot.
Yes.
They still brought back some characters, but it was a soft reboot.
And it's funny because that trailer with that claw, we were talking about that for like Spider-Man. That's why I was so pumped for this movie, because Wolverine, everybody knows that is what got me into this whole entire universe.
Yeah.
He is my guy.
He is the ultimate X-Men fan. Yes. I know I'm wearing an X-Men shirt, but he is the ultimate X-Men fan.
It starts with Wolverine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As you can see as well, we're still working on our set. It's not 100% just yet, but it's looking pretty damn good if you're asking me. We're almost there. So let's just jump right into this review, all right? Starting off with the opening sequence in the movie. Now, like I said, we're not talking spoilers, but I gotta say, I was hooked. Right from the opening scene in this movie, I was in. I was like, oh my god. I couldn't believe that the critics even disliked this movie. But as it continued on, some things that I started to dislike and everything, and I can get it. But from this opening sequence, I was sucked into this movie.
Yeah,
what did you think?
I thought it was okay. The one thing about the movie is I was pleasantly surprised. I was very, very happy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that I really, really liked.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a lot of things I really, really hated, but there was some things that I hated.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoyed this movie, because there was a lot of things that I really am going to remember from this movie.
Yeah.
And the opening sequence, it was okay for me.
For me, I was almost blown away. Like, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And of course, you get that classic X-Men theme from the movies that kicks in. And you just know, like, you're in for a ride. And, yeah, like you said, the good outweighs the bad at the end of the day with X-Men Apocalypse, You know what
I really liked in this movie, and I noticed this in a lot of movies? Costumes on point. I kept on saying it to you, like, just how great it looked. And it's funny enough, I always complain to you about CGI. Right, and in this instance, maybe I kind of wish that Apocalypse was CGI.
Yeah,
I kind of do. He was good. His costume was great. Psylocke's costume was incredible, and not just because she's smoking hot. The costume was incredible.
It was really good. It was really good.
There's a sequence at the end too. You get to see Cyclops and whatnot.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of the costumes and everything, and it's just
cool.
Oh my goodness! I mean, Cyclops is my favorite X-Men. So I'd say he got his justice in this movie.
Yes.
Talking about all the characters in general.
Yes.
Who was your standout character and who was your least liked character in the movie?
I think I was pleasantly surprised by Jean Grey, because she played a big role. She came on really strong. And Mystique, I don't know. Jennifer Lawrence, I think she was given a shitty script for this movie. I know she's a gigantic Hollywood star. She got a lot of other things going on. Everybody approaching her. It was predictable. We knew what was going to happen kind of from trailers. Not to spoil anything here. But the new characters... Let's see the next movie. We're going to adjust all of them just like we did when they all did first class. We adjusted to all of them. So I think they're going to be fine.
For me, the standout was it's got to be Quicksilver for me. And not just because he has an amazing scene in the movie, but because he's in this movie this time. With Days of Future Past, it was one scene and that was it.
He was incredible.
He was so good.
And his humor, he was delightful in this movie. He was so delightful. And there's not a person that is not going to like that guy in this movie. You can't say anything about him.
Yeah, seriously. He was great in this movie. Evan Peters does a great job as Quicksilver.
It just goes to show when this guy gets a little bit more role, more line, more screen time, what this guy is capable of. He was great, and he's got to be in all the movies going forward, because he will add that good.
He brings like a nice lightheartedness to the movies, and it's needed with his character. It's a good balance. But like you mentioned, my least favorite, Jennifer Lawrence, to me, she was just phoning it in. I was not a fan of her in this movie.
I just think she was given a shitty script. She's a phenomenal actress. There's no doubt about it. Jennifer Lawrence is versatile. And she said that she wants to do more X-Men movies. I was thinking she's kind of done with it now, but I think she was just given a shitty script.
I don't know. If you're asking me, I was not a fan of her at all. I didn't like her in the movie. But
let's talk about Apocalypse.
Let's talk about Apocalypse because he is the big bad. I'd say, since Magneto, he's the only other villain in the X-Men movies that they faced. He is the big bad. Yes. You read more X-Men comics.
The equivalent of Thanos.
Yeah, he is the Thanos to the X-Men. Yes. So he is the big bad for the X-Men, and he was just okay for me.
Same here. I didn't feel it. And Oscar Isaac is a great actor. We've seen what this guy could do. This wasn't the role for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It just you know, like when he talked, I was like, like I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't, and he did some brutal things. He did. They did show his power.
Yeah.
But it just, it didn't fulfill it for me. Maybe just because Apocalypse is a difficult character to direct.
It's just hard because he has so many powers.
Because, you know, he can snap his finger and then, you know, destroy anything, right?
Yeah.
So, but it just, I wasn't sold on it.
I gotta agree with you there. I mean, like, there was, through the beginning, I'd say I was like, okay, he's pretty menacing, you know, like, he's good. And like as the movie goes on, it's like he just does less and less and less, and he just he talks in this somber tone.
That was killing. Like every time he talked, I was like, God, would you shut up already? Yeah. Like I really wanted to say that every time he talked. I was, please just shut up. Like,
I don't know. He did some stuff that I thought was good. Like I don't think he was a completely bad villain. You know, like I thought he was just okay. Like he did enough to get by.
Yeah, and some of the predictable things people are going to notice in the trailer did happen in this movie. Like Magneto, why has this franchise been great? We know why, because of Fassbender being rebooted as Michael, as Magneto. He has killed it in every role, and I think some people may be disappointed with his screen time.
I'd say Magneto, Storm, and there's a few characters like Magneto and Storm in particular that come off the top of my head where they were just underutilized in this movie. You know, like Storm is such a cool character. She has such cool powers,
she really is,
and you got to make her this badass, you know, and she does nothing in the movie.
And just in defense, maybe to Singer is that it's hard to get enough screen time for everybody.
It is.
It's a gigantic movie, but hey, man, you got to find a way to make it happen, I guess.
Yeah.
But let's not take away. The Wolverine scene, I was, you know me, I was kicking you. I do that a lot when we're at the movies. I would kick at him in the
bruises, man.
It was an amazing scene. It was good to see. I was very, very happy they did that. And if they didn't show in the trailer, honest to God, I've said this, I would have shit my pants.
Yeah.
Because they kept it really hidden. I kept on looking at the credits and the cast, and Hugh Jackman was not showing. They did a good job. The trailer kind of gave it away, but still it was
I would have preferred them not to show Wolverine in the trailers, especially because it's not something that's like a make or break sell for audiences to go to the theaters, so they could have just completely left it out, and then we would have been going bonkers. We still were, because it was a phenomenal scene. It was insanity. It was so good, and I can't wait for you guys to be able to experience it.
Just put it this way: they let him loose.
Yeah, seriously,
they let him loose.
He is so good in that scene, and it was just a good scene. It was well needed, and it was put in the right place in the film, you know, and that's not the only great scene in this film. Quicksilver gets another shining moment in this film. It definitely beats the Days of Future Past scene.
He probably actually has a scene that is on the top 3 for all comic book movies.
I gotta agree with you.
It's just such an incredible scene. You think the last one he did was great. Wait till you see it. It was fun. It was intelligent. It was cool.
Yeah,
till you see
it was awesome. Overall, X-Men Apocalypse, like I said, the good outweighs the best. I say the first half of the film was good, and then it slowly starts to fall apart a little bit by little bit on the second half.
And make sure you do stay to the end. There is an end credits.
There is an end credits.
We're not going to say anything, and it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. All right. So let's give our scores for X-Men Apocalypse out of 10. What do you give X-Men Apocalypse?
I give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's a good movie. Yeah. It's worth seeing for the Quicksilver and the Wolverine scene alone. Yes. Those scenes are worth the price of admission. So yeah, go check it out and let us know what you guys think of X-Men Apocalypse in the comment section below. I'm your host, Aaron. You know me as Caboose XBL, here with my co-host, Ender. Please be sure to follow us on our social media platforms. The links for that will be in the description box below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new.
That's a wrap.